Hi, it is me, Stargirl the Practical Witch, and welcome to my YouTube channel today. In today's video, we are finally going to be learning how to read your birth chart and other people's birth chart as well. This is for beginners, so I'm going to make it as easy as possible for you to understand, especially if you have no clue where to start in your birth chart. Firstly, let's start out with the definition of a birth chart. What is a birth chart? A birth chart is a map of your entire destiny, existence, life, and essence. Essentially, it is an energetic blueprint of what makes you you and why your life is the way that it is. The birth chart is calculated by the date, time, and exact city where you were born, showing the exact placement of the stars and planets in the sky when you first came out of the womb. This snapshot of the cosmos when you were born is a physical representation of your energies and fate during your existence here on Earth. There are many birth chart calculators online that will generate this map for you if you put in the above information. Now, unfortunately, if you are missing a piece of this information, such as you don't know what time you were born, you will not be able to generate your birth chart. And if this is something that is getting you very sad, just remember that nothing in life is a coincidence, and it might just be fate that you were not meant to see your birth chart in this lifetime. A good tip I have learned when learning how to read a birth chart is that the planets show in your birth chart what is happening. The house the planet is in shows where in your life it is happening, and the sign that the planet is in shows how it is happening. Now, before I go ahead and continue on the lesson plan, I want to let you guys know that I do have an online astrology store where we do sell zodiac candles for each and every zodiac sign. I have here my Capricorn candle because I am a Capricorn moon, but we have a candle for every zodiac sign, and they are specifically designed for each zodiac sign with all natural essential oils and all natural soy wax. They make really amazing Christmas or Hanukkah gifts or holiday gifts for your witchy friends who are into astrology. We also sell manifestation roller bottles that are the perfect size for traveling, but also the perfect size for stocking stuffers. And they are made with all natural vegan ingredients, and they are real gemstones inside. And these oils are meant to help you manifest your desires. On my store, Lilith Ascendant, we also have bath salts that are designed to cleanse your aura. So if you're into witchy self-care, definitely check out my store, Lilith Ascendant. The link is in the pinned comment and description. Okay, so now let's get back to the lesson plan. So each and every birth chart is divided between 12 astrological houses. Think of your birth chart like a pie that is sliced into 12 pieces, and each piece is going to represent a different area of your life and existence. First, what we are going to do is we are going to start out with the definition of these 12 houses and what these 12 houses represent, because this is the very first piece of information you need to know before learning other things that might get confusing. But let's start out with the first house, which is located on the left side of your birth chart, and what the first house of your birth chart represents. Your first house is your physical appearance. It is the way that you look, and it is the energy that you give off. This is something that you cannot control. It's kind of something you were born with. And the sign that is located in your first house is known as your rising sign or your ascendant sign. Look at your first house in your birth chart. Which sign occupies your first house? It should be Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, or Pisces. One of those 12 zodiac signs will occupy the first house of your birth chart, and that sign is known as your rising sign or your ascendant sign. For instance, in my astrological birth chart, I am a Gemini rising, so I have Gemini sitting in the first house of my birth chart. This is going to be one of your core placements, and the best thing for you to know is what your rising sign is, because your rising sign is going to show you how attractive you are and what kind of vibe you give off other people without trying to. And the sign that occupies the first house, you are going to share qualities or characteristics of that sign in your appearance. So the first house of your birth chart is your appearance, and it's the way that you look. It's the way people perceive you on your face and in your avatar body here on earth. And the first house is very prominent for people who are beautiful, glamorous, or meant to be famous. A lot of these people will have a lot of planets located in their first house, because when you have a planet in your first house of your birth chart, it really amps up your energy, and it really means you have a very distinctive appearance that's hard for people to miss. So generally, when you have planets in the first house, it gives a striking appearance, and it kind of makes you born to be a star or born to be the center of attention. Now, if you have no planets in that first house, it does not mean that you are ugly or you don't have powerful energy. It just means that in this life, that area or that experience of life isn't necessarily highlighted for you. With the planets, think of them as a pinpoint destination on a map or a highlight in a book. Wherever the planets are, they provide an emphasis on that area of life. The first house original ruler is Aries, so Aries and the first house are going to share a lot of similar characteristics. Both Aries and the first house deal with identity, as well as appearance and the energy that we let off with our avatar bodies here on earth. So when we move on to the second house of your birth chart, the second house of your birth chart, which follows the first house, is also your appearance. However, the second house is more about your aesthetic, what clothes you like to wear, what things you like to buy, how you like to do your makeup, how you like to do your hair. The second house is more of the things that we choose based on our taste. Are you an e-girl, or are you more sporty in nature? What kind of things do you like to buy when it comes to your aesthetic taste? This is what we can see from the second house. Now, the second house covers the part of your body that is your mouth, your tongue, and your throat. So through the second house, we can see what the tonality of your voice is, if your voice is attractive, and the way that your voice sounds. A lot of the times when people have planets in the second house, they have a very powerful voice. A lot of the times they are singers, or they're speakers, or their voice carries a very strong vibration. Also, if you have planets in the second house, this generally shows someone who has really good aesthetic taste and knows what looks good when it comes to their clothes, makeup, hair, or jewelry. So people with impeccable taste that know what to buy and seem to know just what looks good tend to have planets in the second house. Through your second house, because the second house represents the senses of your body, which is your eyes, your nose, your mouth, and your ears, through the second house, we can also see what kind of music you like to listen to as well as what kind of foods you like to eat. So generally, when you have Venus in the second house, because Venus is the planet of love and beauty, it will give you a beautiful singing voice, but also it will give you a sweet tooth, because Venus is also sweet things like sugar in the second house of your taste buds and your mouth. So from the planets in the second house, we can see how your voice sounds, what music you like to listen to, and what foods you like to eat. Now, if you do not have planets in the second house, it just means that those energies are not highlighted for you specifically in this life. The second house also relates to your money situation. It represents what you like to spend your money on, how you make money, and also the things you like to buy with your money. So the second house is the house of your money as well as your possessions. The second house's original ruler is the sign of Taurus. So the sign of Taurus and the second house will share very similar characteristics. Generally, Tauruses really love to eat. They have good taste in music. They have good taste in style because both Taurus and the second house represents your five senses. And Taurus is the sign of money because it rules the second house, and the second house is also the house that shows your financial situation. How much money do you make? What do you like to spend your money on? That is your second house. So the third house, which follows the second house, shows in your life your neighborhood, your neighbors, the area surrounding your house. The third house also represents your younger siblings. Now, the third house is also the house of short trips, like weekend trips that we may take in the car. The third house is also your ability to communicate and your ability to write. The third house also represents talents that you possess, but these talents are different than the talents of the fifth house. Third house talents are trade talents, such as people who go to cosmetology school and are really great at cosmetology. The third house represents talents when it comes to your hands. So a lot of the times when people have planets in the third house of their birth chart, they are very excellent communicators. They are excellent writers. They tend to enjoy taking short trips. And also these people tend to have healing hands or be really good with their hands. For instance, they might be mechanics, or they might be cosmetologists, or they might be really good at arts and crafts, something that involves creating something with the use of your hands. And that's because the third house in your birth chart represents the part of your body which is your hands, arms, and your shoulders. So each house represents a different part of your body, and as we covered, the first house represents your head, the second house represents your mouth and your throat and your nose, your eyes and your ears. Now the third house represents your shoulders, your arms, and your hands, and this shows us what your shoulders, arms, and hands looks like and what your writing ability is. So like I said earlier, if you do find you have planets in the third house, it is likely you have some sort of talent that involves creating things or making things with your hands, or you might have a natural talent towards healing hands, such as massage therapy or Reiki. Not only that, because the third house represents your ability to communicate and communication, the third house also represents social media. So sometimes when you have planets in the third house, you might be someone who's naturally photogenic. You might be someone who's really good at taking pictures or doing videography, or you might have a talent for social media or having a social media business. Now, the third house is originally ruled by the sign of Gemini. So the sign of Gemini and the third house are going to share similar characteristics because both Gemini and the third house represent communication, short trips, writing, neighbors, and siblings. Now, the third house is also your house of efforts because the third house also covers your body part of your lungs. So when you have a planet like Saturn in the third house, for instance, this might give you asthma or issues with breathing. And because Saturn is a slow-moving planet, when you have Saturn in the third house, this might mean you're a slower worker since Saturn is a slow planet. However, if you have Sun in the third house, this means that you are a really hard worker and you get a lot done. So depending on what the planets mean, which we will cover later on in the lesson, it shows how productive you are because the third house is the house of productivity since it relates to the lungs, which relates to stamina. So from the third house, we can also see how fast of a worker you are and how productive you are. So the next house we're going to cover here is the 4th house, which follows the 3rd house. The 4th house is located at the very bottom of your chart, and the 4th house in your birth chart represents what your home looks like, what your family is like, what your living situation is like. Now, the 4th house also represents the chest on your body. So from your 4th house, and depending what planets are in your 4th house, we can see how your chest looks on your body or how your chest is functioning. Now, from the 4th house, we can also see what your home looks like, how you like to decorate your home, and what the relationship with your family is like. If you have a lot of planets in the 4th house, this shows that you are naturally really good when it comes to decorating your home. You know how to make it a really beautiful sanctuary. You know how to make it a place that really suits your needs, that is super aesthetic, and that is a talent because not everybody has that. So when you have planets in that 4th house, there is a natural talent for interior decorating. However, depending on the planet, this might differ. If you have Saturn in the 4th house, which is a very heavy planet, this might mean that your family relationships are very strained, or it might mean that you've had issues with your home life, or your home could be very cold. So depending on the planets that occupy your 4th house, we can see whether your home life is good or not, and also what your home aesthetic and your home decor looks like. Now, the 4th house is originally ruled by the sign of Cancer. So both Cancer and the 4th house will share similar qualities of home, family, mother, and your emotional state. Now, from the 4th house, we can also see what your spouse's career is because it is 10 houses from the 7th house. If that was confusing, don't worry. We're going to talk about this in more advanced astrology lessons. But for those of you who want to predict what your spouse is like and you want to know what their career is, you can see what your spouse's career is from the 4th house of your birth chart. The sign that is in your 4th house will share the characteristics of your future spouse's career. For instance, if you have Scorpio in the 4th house, this might mean that your future spouse is going to be something to do with Scorpio qualities, such as a witch, a tarot reader, an astrologer, or they could be a private detective or into police work, or they could do something kind of macabre when it comes to their career. So when you really get to understand the zodiac signs, you will be able to predict what your spouse's career is through the 4th house of your birth chart and what sign resides in that 4th house. That sign's characteristics will give hints about what your future spouse's career is, especially if you have planets in that 4th house. Now, if we move on to the 5th house, from the 5th house of your birth chart, we can see what your talents are, what your passions are, and what you feel passionate about in life. From the 5th house, we can also see what your children are like, or if you will have any children. Now, the 5th house is also kind of love and dating and relationships, but it's more casual dating, which we can see from the 5th house. Do you go on casual dates? How much casual dating are you going to have in this life? We can see casual romantic relationships from the 5th house. So generally, when you have a lot of planets in the 5th house of your birth chart, this means you are someone who is naturally very creative. And not only are you naturally creative, but you have a lot of creative talents that you are meant to use in this lifetime. Generally, if you have lots of planets in the 5th house, this means that children really like you as well. And this also means that you are a natural business owner and a natural entrepreneur, because generally people who have planets in the 5th house are very creative, so they require creative jobs. This is the exception unless Saturn is in the 5th house, because Saturn blocks things, it delays things, and it's a heavy planet. So when you have Saturn in the 5th house, this might indicate an inability to have children, or having children at a very older age, or never having children. The South Node, which is the upside down horseshoe as well, tends to make somebody not have children, or it tends to really make creativity be difficult. So if you have Saturn or the South Node in the 5th house, this might mean that creativity is actually very difficult for you, and it's less likely that you will have children. Obviously, this is a general reading, so it's not going to be like that for all of you, but generally the planets Saturn and the South Node are an exception. However, if you have any of the other planets in your 5th house, this means that creativity comes easy to you. You are somebody who might have a lot of children. Children naturally like you, and also if you don't plan on having children, this just means someone who is extremely creative and is a natural business owner, a natural entrepreneur, and someone who just has a lot of talent and a lot of creative ability. Stephen King, who is a creative writer, has Jupiter in the 5th house, which is expanding his house of talents, and a lot of really talented celebrities have planets in the 5th house, which is why they were given such amazing creativity. So if you have planets in the 5th house, know that you were born with God-given creativity that is going to take you very, very far in life. This is a blessed house to have planets in because it means you were born with a natural creative ability. You were born with natural talents that are going to bring you a lot of success in this world. So the 5th house of your birth chart rules your heart as well, and the 5th house is originally ruled by the sign of Leo. So Leo and the 5th house will share a lot of similar qualities in astrology. They both have to do with dating, fun, your passions, your natural talents, and essentially what makes you you. Now, the 6th house in your birth chart, this is a little difficult house because the 6th house relates to your enemies. So for instance, if we use Mean Girls as a reference, Regina George would be Janice's 6th house, and Janice would be Regina George's 6th house. The 6th house represents people you are competitive with and others who are competitive with you. The 6th house also represents your daily routine. So what do your routines look like? What are you doing on the daily? What is your morning routine? What is your night routine? Do you have a routine? The 6th house deals with mundane aspects of life and things that you do every day, like washing the dishes, working out, going for a walk, and just your daily life and habits. The 6th house of your birth chart also represents your pets. Do you have any pets? Do you like animals? Because animals are seen from the 6th house as well. Now, on a more lighter note, the 6th house also has good qualities. A lot of times when people have planets in their 6th house, this means that they really like to help underprivileged people, or they like to help the poor or the needy. So generally, you'll see civil servants, social workers, or people who like to help the underprivileged have planets in their 6th house. And generally, people who have planets in the 6th house are also really, really good with animals. But also, when people have planets in the 6th house, they tend to be very, very competitive because the 6th house is the house of competition. For instance, if you are competing for a job, your competition or the same people who want the same job are going to be seen in the 6th house. They are your enemies, they are your competitors. And finally, the 6th house is also affairs. And the reason being is because it's 12 houses from the 7th house. So a lot of the times when you have planets in the 6th house, this might mean that you are involved with married people or you have extramarital affairs, because the 6th house is known as the other woman or the other man, and it is the house of affairs or enemies to your marriage. So the 6th house is kind of a darker house in astrology because it does represent your health, it represents your competition, it represents affairs, and also the daily mundane aspects of life, including your routines, but it is also social work and animals. Now, the sign of Virgo is the original ruler of the 6th house. So the zodiac sign of Virgo and the 6th house share similar characteristics. They both relate to health, animals, being a servant or being of service to others, as well as the mundane aspects of life, such as your habits and your routines. Later on in astrology lessons, we're going to learn what the planets and the houses mean, but right now let's just stick to the basics. Now, the 6th house in your birth chart represents your stomach area. So the part of the body that the 6th house represents is your belly or your stomach area. Now, your 7th house is your house of long-term relationships. From your 7th house, we can see what your future spouse is going to look like, or what your long-term soulmate is going to look like. From the 7th house, we can see what your relationships look like and what you look for in relationships. For instance, as an example, if you have the sign of Capricorn in your 7th house, you might look for partners who are ambitious or really into their job or work. Or if you have Sagittarius in your 7th house, you might look for partners who can act as a spiritual leader to you, or are very spiritual in nature, or can teach you something. So you might look for wise partners. If you have Taurus in the 7th house, you might look for a partner who smells good, dresses nice, and is very Venusian in qualities. So from the sign located in your 7th house, you can see what kind of partners you're going to attract and how they will impact your life if you know the qualities or characteristics of the sign in your 7th house. So look at the sign in your 7th house. This will show you what your marriage partners are like, or what your long-term partners are like. Now, the 7th house isn't just romantic partnerships. From the 7th house, we can see your business partnerships as well. Any sort of partnership that involves teamwork, that is very close to you, we can see from the 7th house. Now, the original ruler of the 7th house is Libra. So Libra and the 7th house will share similar characteristics. Both Libra and the 7th house show partnerships and relationships. Now, in your birth chart, the 7th house represents the part of your body known as your genitalia. So through the 7th house, we can see your genitalia. I know it's funny. I know it's interesting. We can see that through the 7th house. When someone has a lot of planets in the 7th house, this may show a need and a want to be in a long-term committed relationship, or it shows that relationships are very important to you. So if you have planets in the 7th house, know that relationships are extremely important to you. You might get a lot of your identity from the people that you hang out with, and also the people that you spend the most time with shape who you are. So it's very important for you, if you have planets in the 7th house, to be in relationships with people who inspire you and bring you up to your best self, because when you have a lot of planets in the 7th house, this means the people you hang around have the ability to shape who you are, and you should absolutely be more selective about who you hang around, because if you hang around inspiring people, you will become inspiring yourself, etc., etc. This also means that relationships will play a big role in your life, and that you really value your relationships. You make an amazing partner, and you're someone who is just the perfect partner if you have planets in that 7th house, and people would be lucky to be in a relationship with you, because you will go above and beyond for those that you love when you have planets in the 7th house. So the 8th house in your birth chart is located right after the 7th house, and this is one of the more scarier houses in your birth chart, because the 8th house represents everything in your life that you cannot control, which is death and taxes. This is something that's going to happen to everybody, and it's something that's out of your control. That is what the 8th house represents, and the 8th house also represents major transformations that happen in your life that feel like a metaphorical death. So the 8th house is known as a scary house because it represents death in your life, and it doesn't show how you're going to die, so please do not scare yourself with your birth chart. It just means metaphorically transformative events that happen in your life that change you and your life in a huge way. The 8th house, in my opinion, is a lot like the Tower card in tarot, where unexpected things happen, changing the course of your life forever. That is the 8th house, major transformations. Now, the 8th house in your birth chart also shows how much money your future spouse makes. And a lot of the times when you have good planets like Jupiter or Venus in the 8th house, this shows that you actually will marry someone who is very wealthy and will expand your income. So planets in the 8th house could actually mean that your spouse provides a lot of income in your marriage, especially if they are beneficial planets like Jupiter or Venus. Now, the 8th house is known as the house of other people's money. So this is also inheritances that you get and loans you get from the bank. So generally, if you have planets like Jupiter or Venus in the 8th house, this means one day you will get a large inheritance, or you will get a lot of really amazing loans from the bank, or you might marry someone who is very wealthy. Now, planets in the 8th house also indicate somebody who is going to go through a lot of major changes in their life, and they kind of have a phoenix effect where they go through intense experiences that cause them to be reborn as the phoenix. So they might have times in their life where they hit rock bottom and they never think they're going to get back up again, and then they just become stronger than ever. They are reborn stronger than ever through these difficult life experiences. So the 8th house is really a bag of marbles. It could either give you really extreme, scary situations in life if you have planets there, or it could give you really blessed, unexpected results, because people who are seen winning the lottery, which is an unexpected event, tend to have planets in the 8th house. So planets in the 8th house means that a lot of unexpected events will happen in your life, changing the course of your life forever, whether it's really good, like marrying a wealthy partner or winning the lottery, or if it's something that's just really life-changing that requires you to do a lot of evolution. But one thing about people with planets in the 8th house is they never die. They always are reborn stronger than ever. Now, people who have 8th house placements in their birth chart also tend to be people who are natural witches with natural occult power. That is because the 8th house represents in your birth chart witchcraft, tarot cards, and psychology. So furthermore, people who have planets in the 8th house tend to be very talented when it comes to psychology or the occult, such as tarot cards and astrology. A lot of really famous psychologists and occultists have had prominent planets in the 8th house. So on top of planets in the 8th house giving unexpected inheritance, possibly a rich partner, this also shows natural occult ability or the ability to really be good at psychology. Now, the 8th house is also the house of the dead and the deceased. So generally, if you have planets in the 8th house, this also shows mediumship ability where you are able to contact the deceased. Now, like I was saying earlier, the 8th house is also sex or intimacy. So generally, if you have planets in the 8th house of your birth chart, you have a natural seductive quality. This is the energy that you carry inside of you. So even though the 8th house is very scary and can give mixed results, it also gives a lot of really amazing talents, such as a natural ability to seduce or be seductive, occult ability, as well as the talent for understanding people in a psychological manner. Now, the 8th house in your birth chart rules the part of your body that most people aren't going to see, which is your butt. So because the 8th house rules such a private area, this house represents your intimate life and people you have intimate connections with, because who's going to watch you go to the bathroom other than a significant other you've been with for a while? So the 8th house will show your intimacy with your partner and long-term commitments as well. Now, finally, the 8th house relates to your in-laws as well. So if you have good planets in the 8th house, you might notice the relationship with your in-laws is really good in the future. However, if you have planets like Saturn in the 8th house, this could mean a struggled relationship with your spouse's parents. But remember, we all have Saturn in our birth chart, which means that we all have difficulties in our life. It's a normal part of life. So Scorpio is the original ruler of the 8th house. So both Scorpio and the 8th house share similar characteristics. They both relate to psychology, sex, the occult, witchcraft, and transformative experiences where you will metaphorically die and be reborn stronger than ever. And both of them represent taxes and death, which is things that we cannot control in life, which we will all experience. So the 8th house is kind of heavy. Now moving on to the 9th house in your birth chart. The 9th house in your birth chart represents your father. We can see what your father is like from the 9th house. The 9th house in your birth chart also represents your teachers, and it represents your religious beliefs and your intelligence. The 9th house is also your higher learning, so your college education can be seen through the 9th house, or if you go to college. And also the 9th house is your natural intelligence levels and your wisdom. So when someone has planets in the 9th house, they tend to be people who are naturally very quick learners. They are people who are naturally extremely intelligent. They like to learn, they like to travel, and their mind is very spiritually inclined. Now, especially if you have Jupiter or Venus in the 9th house, this means that your teachers really love you. Your teachers have been good teachers to you in this life. Your teachers really value you. You have a good relationship with your teachers, but sometimes the South Node or Saturn in the 9th house might mean that there's a lack of good mentors in your life. Maybe your teachers and you don't really get along, or planets like Saturn in the South Node can show a strained relationship with the father. So if you have planets in the 9th house, generally this gives you a natural intelligence where you learn very quickly, and you're somebody who is naturally very, very smart and intelligent. Unless you have Saturn or the South Node in the 9th house, this might give you a learning disability, or there might be resistance to higher learning, or you might notice that every time you travel, something goes awry, or you have never left your country, or you have a difficult relationship with a father. So 9th house placements really depend on which planets are there, but generally if you have planets in the 9th house, you are also a really good writer, and at one point in your life you may publish a book or a work of writings, because the 9th house is also publishing. So from the 9th house we can also see natural teachers and natural writers. And if this hasn't happened yet, don't worry. A lot of the times most of our birth chart isn't activated till later in life, so it gives you something to look forward to. Now, the 9th house of your birth chart represents the thighs on your body. So from the 9th house we can see what the structure of your thighs are like. Now, Sagittarius is the original ruler of the 9th house, which means the 9th house and Sagittarius share very similar qualities. They are both the house of philosophy, higher learning, wisdom, intelligence, travel, and publishing. So the 10th house of your birth chart is located at the very top of your birth chart, and this is where we can see your fame and your career. The sign in your 10th house will show you how you are likely to earn fame, or if you are going to be famous in this life, or what your career is going to be, because the 10th house of your birth chart is your reputation, your fame, as well as your career. So for instance, if you have Pisces in the 10th house, your reputation might be that of a psychic, or someone who is very spiritually in tuned, creative, or mystical. Or if you have Taurus in the 10th house, this could show that you are well known for being beautiful and having a great aesthetic taste. If you have Gemini in the 10th house, this could mean you are well known for your social media. It really depends, but the sign and the qualities of the sign in your 10th house house will show you what your reputation is like and what you are well known for, or what qualities or characteristics your career will have. The 10th house isn't just any old job, it is your career and life. When you have planets in the 10th house, this is likely that your career will be very important to you in this life, especially if you have a lot of planets in the 10th house. Most celebrities have a lot of planets in their 10th house because they receive a lot of attention for their work. So if you have a lot of planets in your 10th house, this shows that in your life you will get a lot of attention for your work, you will get a lot of raises, you will get a lot of promotion, and even a strong possibility for fame. This is why most celebrities have placements, like I said, in their 10th house of career. If you don't have placements in your 10th house, it does not mean that you will never earn fame or fame is not in the cards for you. It just means those energies aren't specifically highlighted in your birth chart. However, if you look at the sign in your 10th house, those characteristics, like I said, will show you the qualities of your future career. The 10th house represents the knees of your body too. So generally, through the 10th house, we can see the condition of your knees. Now, the 10th house's original ruler is the sign of Capricorn. So Capricorn and the 10th house will share very similar characteristics. They are both about your reputation, your career, and fame. So people with 10th house placements or placements in Capricorn tend to be extremely ambitious and career focused. Now, the 11th house of your birth chart, which follows your 10th house, is the money that you make from your career. So if you have a lot of planets in that 11th house, this means that you're going to make a lot of money when it comes to your career, especially if you have beneficial planets like Jupiter or Venus in the 11th house. This shows a lot of income coming from your career. But the 11th house also shows your friends, your soul tribe, the people that you resonate with, the people that you feel connected to on a friendship level. These relationships are seen in your 11th house of the birth chart. If you have a lot of planets in the 11th house, this might show you are meant to work with a group of people towards a cause. So generally, if you have a lot of planets in the 11th house, sometime in your life you will get together with like-minded people to work towards something that is really important to all of you to make a difference and change in the world. Now, the 11th house of your birth chart rules your shins. So from the 11th house, we can see your shins on your body. The 11th house is also your older siblings as well. So a relationship with your older siblings can be seen from your 11th house. Now, the original ruler of the 11th house is the sign of Aquarius. So both the sign of Aquarius and the 11th house share very similar characteristics. They both represent groups of people, your soul tribe, your friends, but also both Aquarius and the 11th house represent your higher self and your future self. Now, your 12th house in your birth chart, which is the last house in your birth chart, this house represents your sleep. It represents areas of seclusion where you are totally by yourself, for instance, in the middle of nature, or you need time of solitude. Your solitude and time spent by yourself away from everyone else can be seen through the 12th house. And like I said, the 12th house is also your dream world and your sleep. Now, the 12th house is also your psychic abilities. So generally, a lot of really well-known psychics will have placements in that 12th house. You will likely have psychic feelings, psychic hearing, or even psychic dreams where you have the ability to travel in the astral world while you sleep, or you have prophetic dreams. This can all be seen from placements in the 12th house. This also shows, if you have planets in the 12th house, a need to be secluded and a need to be alone to really recharge, unless you have the south node there, because the south node takes you away from whatever house it's in. But if you have Sun, Moon, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus in the 12th house, this means there is a real need for you to be alone in seclusion, out in nature, or to spend a lot of time alone recharging. And like I said, this indicates an active dream world and very strong psychic ability. Now, the 12th house is also your hidden enemies. So in the example of the 6th house, I said that the 6th house was a lot like Regina and Janice from Mean Girls, but the 12th house represents your hidden enemies. This would be like Caddy or Lindsay Lohan's character to Regina George. She was a hidden enemy to Regina. Regina had no idea that this girl was her enemy. So for instance, the 12th house will be people who are your hidden enemies, which means they are your enemies in secret and you might not even be aware they are your enemies. If you have planets in the 12th house, generally you are really good at being able to understand who really is your enemy and who really doesn't have your back. The 12th house in your birth chart also represents the feet of your body. So your feet can be seen from the 12th house. A lot of the times, people who have foot tattoos or really pretty feet will have planets in the 12th house, or people who like to wear like really beautiful shoes will have planets in the 12th house. Your shoe attire can even be seen in the 12th house. What kind of shoes you like to wear can be seen through the 12th house, because the 12th house also represents your feet. Now, Pisces is the original ruler of the 12th house, which means that Pisces and the 12th house share similar characteristics. They both relate to psychic abilities, the dream world, and also places of seclusion. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next astrology lesson.